So, I'm Shanti, everybody. This is my second. I had a big interview today, so at 10:30 this morning. So that was with another meditation group, Himalayan meditation group. So they come and took interview today. So I don't know, they must have heard about this, so they wanted to know about soul presence. So they'll be advertising it for us as well. So be present when you're a soul. So it's really cool. So tonight's class, I thought I'd talk about the whispers within my mind and the feelings, in my heart. See the two difference. We'll feel there's two different things, and that's where the soul presence comes in. So that's why we don't have to do anything but just relax and become presence. Let the presence of the soul be there within us. So, because now their time is flying so fast, so we don't have time to muck around like we did when I first came to Guyana. So we did all sorts of yoga buddies for 8 hours or 10 hours or 12, whatever. So now's the time to sit in presence. I was saying that because the Baba was saying that when you get to know yourself, then you will get to know God. So God is also, he's just consciousness, but we haven't got a word for consciousness. What's it look like? It's not physical. It's not spiritual even. It's spiritual is just a word created by human beings, like God is a word created by human beings. So that's why we need to be soul presence with your soul, and also that resonance, that vibration that you have. And that's the real time now to go beyond this. The mind is there, but it's now we don't have to control it. I've tried everything, it doesn't work. So when you try and control your mind, instead of letting it flow, because that's the soul's job, is to sort out the mind and our person and all our emotions, all our experiences. That's why now knowledge is something that is of the past. It's been created by human beings. Every human being, all the scriptures, every story that's ever told, everything is all by human beings. So, and now we have to go beyond that. So, and to be our true self means to be soul. But what happens is the mind gets in between. So you can't do that. That's stupid, It'll tell you all sorts of things. So, and that's just a game. We made the mind. So we created the mind to protect us. So the mind's just protecting us, because we've made it in charge. We put the mind in charge and says, look after me, stop me doing wrong things and make sure I work hard, make sure I go do all sorts of crazy things so that I'm never free, So the thing, we trapped ourselves in our prison, in our cage, which is called the mind. You might even think, oh, I'm free from the mind. I'm out beyond the stars and the sun and the moon, but actually we're not. That's the mind letting you just have a little bit of rope. That's all. But the mind is also going to be our best friend when it becomes aware that your soul, the soul, am taking over the driving seat. But the mind will still be there. But all the awareness that I'm the master, that light body within this body, and that's all my wisdom. Soul has wisdomized all my experiences. That's why we never can do anything wrong. We never can do anything right. They're just experiences. So there's no heaven and there's no hell. So everything is perfect. So we can learn to just live in this life with beautiful enjoyment, no worries. You still have to go to work and earn some money, unfortunately, unless you got someone that can help supply you with a lot of money. So, but that's no big deal, because money is just a part of you, So, and it's your essence. So it's your energy. Money is your energy. So wherever you put your money, That's where your energy goes. And if you've had a lot of money and you've gone bankrupt, a lot of those people that go bankrupt, they become wealthy again, because it's already in their field. So they come good again. So, and that's why some people can go bankrupt 2 or 3 times before they become multimillionaires, So that's what happens. Because it's just an experience, you see. So they learn from each experience. So next time they don't do the same mistake, well, generally speaking. So, and that's the same with our life. Bubba's giving us teachings every day we can learn. And we can either put them into practice or we can just use your own mind. So Bubba says it's your choice. He doesn't step in between. He doesn't give us any special blessings. He doesn't give us anything except that only thing he gives us is wisdom. So, and wisdom is only if you believe in it. So if you want to put it into practice. So for the last 42 years, I've been practicing Brahma Kumaris. So, and now I could see that through all that, main thing is, I said in a earlier a few weeks ago, is that unless you become soul conscious, you won't know me. So you cannot know God with your mind, because you can't think. You cannot become perfect with your mind. So the mind is what traps you, and it can only go, the mind is to do with the body. The body is limited, you see, but when the soul, through the heart, that's where we get the feelings. Then we go beyond the body, and then the light body comes in with all the wisdom of our experiences through the human. And once the human allows the light body to enter this body and start driving with me the car, so the human and the light body together, and so then the magic will happen. So you've become realized by them. You'll be an enlightened being. And actually, all you have to do is let go of all the rubbish. That's all. Nothing much. That's the big thing, though. But people get a lot of happiness from all the rubbish. You might be hanging on to all sorts of things because a lot of people are not loving themselves, so they want love from outside for them. So, but love only comes from within for yourself. You say, "Oh, what about my kids and everyone like that?" But no, that's not. They have to love themselves too. You look after them and you love them, of course, but you cannot give anybody love. So you might think you can, but will they take it? And if they don't take it, will you be sad? So a lot of people don't want your love. So look, in some of the wars, they hate each other, so they're killing each other very nicely. They love to do that. So they love to kill each other. So that's the sanskaras of those people. So it's not necessarily all about love as we know love, but love, this new love that's coming in, that's why we're a little bit one way. Sometimes we feel a bit out one day and the next day we feel okay, and then we forget things, and we even forget people's names, so things like that. So that's the brain has been adjusted and the physical's been adjusted. So, and we, you ever heard about the chakras? Chakras, you got different chakras in different areas. So all those are changing. So you'll be coming, when that light body comes in, chakras will fade away. So they will be sort of there, they're still there, but your main communication system will be through energy, so through that light body, instantly in every single cell in your body. So, so it's like knowledge now, like people are sick of knowledge, they can get so many books and thousands of people are giving all sorts of knowledge, including me. So, but I'm only passing on my experiences. I can't give anybody knowledge. Only you can take knowledge for yourself, isn't it? And so we listen to what people have got to say, and then we think, is that good or not right? Then we put it into practice, see if it is good or it's not, whether it's going to be beneficial for me, because it's all about you. It's not about anyone else. And that's why in that soul presence, I'm getting people just to sit in that presence of the soul. So, and you can be presence of the body. So you can be soul conscious and body conscious. Consciousness is the key, because consciousness is my original self. And I'm sitting in the soul. See the difference? So soul was there, which was created by consciousness. And consciousness is just pure energy like God, you know, it's the same. It's like you can't say what it is, it's just unknowable, you know, the sense. And that's my true self. When we go into that dark room and we go right down beyond the soul, then you can experience consciousness. But I don't think the body can't experience it. The mind can't experience it, because the mind is physical, you see. And so we go, when we become soul conscious, then you can go into the depths of the soul to experience consciousness, because that's me. It's still me. It's nothing, something else. It's me in the soul experiencing through this human. But it can't do that until the human is ready. So until that light body is there, enough experience, then the consciousness can experience through there. That's to be in its perfect form as an enlightened being, a master. But when we are body conscious, then it's the body driving me around and doing everything. So I'm conscious. So that means consciousness is there, but the human's doing everything. It's become body conscious. So the consciousness cannot experience what just the body's doing. So anger and greed and all those sort of things, body consciousness, all those negative things. And body conscious love is that love that attracts. You need love from someone else. That's body conscious love. So that's like the 1.0 love that's been around in the world for a long time. But now we're going to 2.0. It's like an upgrade for the computer system. So, and that's what we're doing. So now we're going into the 2.0 love, which means self-love and understanding that I've never done anything wrong ever. I'm always beautiful, you know. So you accept yourself as you are. So you never. That's the main thing, is you have to accept yourself as you are and what you are, no matter what. So we've never done anything wrong. We've never done anything right. We've had experiences. That's all. And now's the time for all our experiences that the soul wisdomizes that. See? So we would know how many times we had so many births, and we've been in all sorts of situations, and we would have died many different ways. We would have had a lot of happiness and a lot of sorrow and a bit of this and a bit of that. But that's all there in the soul as memories. So we don't have to worry about sorting them all out or anything. That's the soul's job. It'll just wisdomize all my experiences. And that's where we start to feel. The soul does it through the feelings. So you'll start to feel the wisdom comes when once the soul wisdomizes and your light body's there, then situation will come in front of you, and then you'll think, oh yeah, before I used to be like that, I'd get really angry or whatever, but now I just understand it. Oh, that's what it is, you know. That's bringing wisdom to your life, you know, so you're not upset or angry about anything, and you understand every situation that you face. So and there's so much to learn in the sense, but there's nothing more to study. So all your experiences are already there, actually. So the human cannot study to become perfect, because it doesn't matter how many books you read, you can't become perfect. They're all written by human beings. See, all books are written by human beings. So, and we don't know how much they're being adjusted and to make everyone sort of feel good, and a lot of religions have been written in such a way that they're there to control people, you know. If you do this, you're going to go to hell, you know. So I wouldn't do that if I was you. You do what I tell you, you know. Just bring me lots of money and gold, and you'll be right. So all these things, but that was part of the whole game, you know. It's the game. So, and that's what's happening in the world today. Religions are starting to have to face everything, because as consciousness of human beings come up from from the heart, you'll feel. Now, all religions are asking their own selves, like Muslims are saying to the Muslim people, the extremists, hey, especially the young ones are saying, look, we don't want to do that now. We don't think that's right, And it's the same with the Christians and the Buddhists. All these people are changing now because the young ones are coming through with a new consciousness. So religions are going to change a lot. And they can only change from within them. If some other religion tries to change them, then there's a war, isn't there? So they start fighting. So, and that's why it has to come from within. So it's same for us. We've got all these different ideas from my mind, and there, I've learned and studied everything. I might be an extremist in some religion, Even a BK can be extremist, Like in our religion, we can be so extreme. We're fixed. We're only looking through a tiny little hole, We're looking at the whole of the world through this tiny little hole. There's no awareness there of everything in consciousness. So, and that's why we've got to be careful that we're not confined to a tiny little hole to look in this life. So, and that's the difference between the mind and feelings from the heart. Heart is you'll see and feel, and it's not limited. Your open-heartedness is and honesty and truthfulness is there. So it's that's the big thing is the mind is only limited to so many. It's just a limited thing, Once you start becoming soul presence and your presence, and then you're resonating all this beautiful energy and light. That's who we are. Then the mind just has to relax and take a back seat. You don't stop your mind from doing anything. You just say, look, mind, you just do what you're going to do over there, and I'm going to be here doing this, what I want to do. I'm going to sit in my soul presence and experience my original pure self, And then the soul will go, oh, that's pretty interesting. I wouldn't mind looking at that as well. So then, because it wants to learn too, the mind is just because we have programmed it to do that. It's not its fault. It's just our fault for making the mind like that, So, but once we can understand and let the soul just relax, the mind, and just say, just you play over there. It's like a little child. You go and play in that corner, and I'm mum and dad. I've got some things to learn. I want to practice, and then the mind will find, oh, that's interesting. So you make it interesting, and then the mind becomes quiet and learns as well, and it'll become your very good friend. So it'll be with you. It won't give you any hard time. You won't have any more anxiety. All these stress, all that thing will be gone. So when you allow, because the mind and the body, they work together, So the mind doesn't have any pain, nor does body. If you make your mind unconscious, body doesn't have any pain. But the amazing thing is, the mind produces pain in the body, and that's because if we're not doing what the mind thinks we should be doing, you might be. Maybe it's maybe you want to do something, but every time you go to do it, then you get more and more aches and pains, and sickness comes, and that's your mind making sure you keep on track. You see. So once you get back on track again, all your sicknesses go away. So, but they're there, but you're still trapped in jail. So, and that's what it is. That's the difference between the mind whispers and don't be stupid. That's a silly thing you're doing. So you might want to start a new business, and you have that enthusiasm. The mind will say, "Oh, that's ridiculous," and it's like you'll never be successful. That's what the mind does. So, but then you have to say, "Look, mind, you just be quiet. I'm doing this, and my soul and I've got all the enthusiasm. I don't never ask anyone else if you want to start a business. Never ask anyone's advice because they'll give their advice, which is based on their consciousness." But all your enthusiasm has all the wisdom in it, So you've got all the wisdom already. When you have enthusiasm to start a business, everything is there in that enthusiasm. So soul knows everything. It's such a smart thing. Soul is so smart. How many births has it had? It's been everything. It's been great business people. It's been kings and queens. It's been everything, authors and so many different experiences. So we're pretty magical beings. So that's why we don't have to worry. So if you want to start a business, just start a business. I said to my daughter wanted to start a business. I said, well, don't ask anyone how to do it. Just you have your idea and stick to it, And so that's what she did. So it's good. She's going well. So the whole thing is that's what life's about. Believe in yourself. And because what happens, we have so many programs from all our mums and dads and uncles and aunties and rellies and great grandmas and great granddads and everyone else all around us give us lots of advice. So you'll do nothing. So that's what happens. Nothing ever happens. So and not all the time, but I mean sometimes it is. But what happens is it becomes their success, not yours. They might have put a lot of money in it and they help you here, but they expect you to do something for whatever they do. So it's partly their success. So so now we just have to understand at this particular time now, the world is very delicately poised, financially in every way, even every different countries and giving so much sorrow to each other and now one country doesn't like what the other country is doing to that country. So on and on it goes. So and you don't want to get mixed up in that. Just stick to your own world. As I said, stay in your own little block. We say in their mind, just stay in there. If you feel a bit stressed, I think just go back into your section and sit there and relax in that beautiful, peaceful, tranquil garden that you've created and sit on your favorite chair in the nice warm sun. Doesn't matter how cold it is outside, but inside you'll feel really beautifully and warm, because it's to do with your imagination. So imagination has come from the soul. Soul, the more light the soul has, the more pure the imagination, the more energy is there. So that's why we don't have to worry about cleaning the soul up. Once we have given the soul the authority to wisdomize all my past experiences, that all get cleaned up and everything happens naturally. It's like an automatic AI inside us. So it goes through and cleans everything up. So okay, sort it out, put it all in order. And then you get your mind, intellect and everything back in order again so that it's not going to give you a hard time. And that's your choice, If you don't choose to do that, that doesn't matter. Years, another couple of million years before you come right. Who cares? So time is only a belief, understand? So belief is this amazing thing, isn't it? Just people just believe it, whatever they hear. But we all start with a belief in that sense, don't we? I mean, you hear what someone says, and then whether it fits in your heart, not your head. A lot of people go to university, they study, get PhDs and everything, but they're only trained by the other people. So they've just carried on learning in the same box. They haven't done anything extra, even though they go and write another book, but they write it based on all other books, So the PhD is like that. And some people do 3 or 4 of them, different things. So it's a good job to have if you want to do that. I don't know, you get paid for it, I suppose. Never had that problem. So, but life is like that. It's still entrapping. If you're still doing everything from the mind, then you're trapped still, Although you still have to use the mind, but the mind's not controlling you, So you're saying, if for instance you said, "Oh, I'm going home now," well, the mind knows where you live. That's the mind's job, isn't it? And it's like, so there's a human, which is to do with the mind, and the light body, which is there. So they're driving the car together, So now the light body is coming because you're allowing the light body to come through, your angelic body. Everyone has angelic body, so it's coming through. And then we'll be together. So then we become free from all the tension and the worry. It's not that problems don't come, but you'll just be able to sort them out quickly, Because it'd be pretty boring if you didn't have much to think about. So problems are created just for us to have entertainment, that's all. Otherwise, we don't need them because already we're perfect, every one of us. So we can just enjoy the last scenes of this world. We're enjoying just think what's happening on in the world now. The whole world is reflecting on us. So we're changing, and then the world is also changing. So the world is my reflection. So as I'm feeling inside, and my consciousness, then so is the world around me. Everything in this room, say for instance, is a mirror. How I is reflecting back to me. So all of us, every single thing you have reflects back to the soul. And so how you see the soul, but you see everything from within. So it doesn't matter where, even it's on the walls and everywhere, on the floor and the ceilings and everything is there, but it's all within me. It's a mirror reflecting back on me. So, and once we sort of get the hang that the whole world is just a reflection of my consciousness. And if you're reflecting on your consciousness, so we're all individually, but we can be enjoying everything together, you know what I mean? But everyone sees it according to their consciousness. Right? So do you really know what my thoughts are, or do you know what your thoughts are? And do you know what Crystal's thoughts are? It's all individual, isn't it? So and that's what it is. You might think you know somebody, but you don't really, because this isn't this lifetime, but they might have had so many other lifetimes, and they're nothing like that really. It's just like this is what they're manifesting at this particular time. So, but generally, whatever we're living now is like, especially this time is in this birth is the chosen birth of all our past births. This one we're living now. So all the wisdom of all my past births, and they've chosen this body to wisdomize themselves in this body. So that's why we're becoming an enlightened master. So, and you don't have to, you just have to believe it. You don't have a certificate for that. You can only if you believe that you're an enlightened master, that's what you are. No one's going to say, no, you're not. Are they? Because you believe you are, so you are, you know. And a lot of people feel ashamed because I don't think I'm worthy, but you are. Everybody's worthy. We're all divine beings. So, okay, we had a few experiences of past births. Maybe we're a bit rough around the edges, but that doesn't mean much. You know, that's only some experiences I've had, and that's the soul to sort that out. So we can become like very royal beings, or we can become jolly beings or jelly beans. And so we can be anything you want and enjoy the experience, because there's no greater time than now on this world. Imagine if you were so involved in working hard and achieving, maybe getting lots of money or whatever, and you missed the magic of this time, you know. So this is the time of magic where everything is going to be really magical. So, and it is now actually. So, and that's where it's transforming from this old world into this new beautiful world where there'll be all the sorrows finishing, you see. And it's such an experience that it's important to experience that as it is important to experience the past births, you know, up till now. But there's no greater experience than this time now. But like my past is my foundation. Like I've been over 40 years in the Brahma Kumaris here, but that's my foundation for my next journey, you know. So for journeying from this old world into the new world, that will give me a lot of depth and my foundation. So I've become very strong in my understanding of everything. That's why I'm teaching the soul presence, you know, because this is what souls need now. They don't need a great big long lecture thing, you know. They just need to be experiencing, just being present as a soul in whilst using the human, because you have to use the imagination, you see, and you can't do it with your mind. You can't become an enlightened being with your mind or studying books. Some people want to read heaps of books. I mean, I read a lot, but it's usually what I've written myself. So, or I've heard and then I write it and maybe I formulated a few things, but that's my interest, you know. So, but it's all about, but not what other people, I don't read other people's books or anything. So, because that time's finished, you know. I used to read a lot of other books, but now it's just there. You're just allowing all the wisdom to come from within. Every one of us has a lot of wisdom. You don't know what you've done in your past birth, is it? So, and that's all there, all your past births, and we could have studied and done all, we could have become perfect in our last birth. We've only come now, every one of us probably just born now to be here at this time, no matter what age it is, but we're here to experience the transformation of this old world into a new world. And it's such a wonderful time. And if you can't use the mind won't help us, but the mind will help us in the end once we can say, look, mind, now I'm using my soul is now, or my light body, the master, embodied master is now working together. So that's why we're never alone. So you've got the human and you've got the enlightened master inside the human, got the soul, and we got the consciousness, so you got the emotional body, light body. So all that is there within us. So, and it's all you. It's still you. It's no one else. It's not a separate part of you. It's like mind, intellect, and samskaras. It's still part of the soul, and the mind is using those things. So, and it's not that they're separate. Actually, we're all one, but we have these little abilities. That's all. It's just like arms and legs of a body, you know. So I've beaten you to death here. You're still with us. That's okay. You understand the English okay? It's a little bit. You're okay with English? Yeah, that's okay. I'm trying to talk a little bit slower, but because what happened, I didn't realize a lot of people can't understand because I'm speaking too fast. You get enthusiastic, you know, and then you start talking fast. So I've got to sort of put myself into another gear. So I have to let my soul sort it out. So, but it's good. But this life has just been amazing, you know. And when you look back, you'll just see how amazing it really is. I mean, we were talking today, and I was having one interview with this lady, and I was realizing, my God, I had a fantastic life, you know, it really is. I haven't been sitting around, I've always been busy doing something here, there, and everywhere. So, and it's such a wonderful life, so, and it's what you make it, you know, if you need to experience it, you know, even though I went to Metaman, like I've been there in India about 30 times, you know, but every time was unique and special, you know, so, and sometimes when I was in my mid-50s, I had a lot of sickness. So that was like part of my journey, but still then I still had some good times, you know, so it's not that I stopped me from having a good times, so, but it is makes you think. It's just going through an experience where you have to let go of things you're not letting go, and that's what's making you sick because you're not letting it go, you know. You think, oh, I need the sick, I'm dependent on the sickness, I'm dependent on the sickness, you know. So but once you can handle all that and start just releasing anything I don't need, any emotions, feelings, whatever happened to me when I was a kid, you know, so all these things. So, and these things we just got to see they're experiences. So. I was telling the group today that whatever happens to you before 3, if someone did something to you, some abusive things, then you'll find that before that, in your previous, the birth just before that, you were doing the same thing. That's what happens now. It's your turn to experience it. So that young person's getting their experiences from what they did in their previous birth, you see. And that's what happens. And that's how things work, you know. So nothing ever happens to anyone that's not supposed to happen. So that's the law. It's the natural law. So that's why we don't have to worry about anybody or anything. You can never do anything right and you can never do anything wrong. So if you do something, well, the fruits of that come back to you, you know, whatever it is. Whether they're fruits with stones or something in them, I don't know. But if you do something that's not so kind, then maybe something's going to happen to you that's not so kind, you know. It's just a reflection. So, and that's why we are going beyond the laws of cause and effect. So karma, once we get to the stage of an enlightened being, karma doesn't worry us anymore. You've gone beyond that. So negative actions and thoughts, words. So, and that's what's happening now. So we have to go beyond the laws of cause and effect. So, because we were becoming wise once the soul has wisdomized everything, mind, intellect, sanskaras, everything, all your emotions, everything that happens to you, then you'll become free. You know, you won't be having to think because you'll be so wise. You won't make mistakes. No one's going to make mistakes now. You're going to run out and murder somebody or something. So you won't want to do that, because that's not good, You have that wisdom. So you won't go and steal next door neighbor or something from him or whatever. So all these things, or even take something, there's a fruit of that, So whatever you're doing, you have to be very careful. Sometimes people think, oh, we'll just take this, but they don't realize what they're doing, They're stealing. It's like Baba said the other day, if you steal one tiny little thing, it's the same as stealing means stealing, Whether you took 100 million or whether you took $1, it's still stealing, isn't it? So, and that's what we're taught. So we know not to take, because it's natural, it's you don't need it. You have everything. Why would you want to take something? So it means you feel you're lacking. So that means you'll become poverty stricken because you think you're poverty stricken. So that's what one of the things we learn here in the laws of cause and effect is that whatever we are creating, everything, every second, every thought you have is a creation. That's your child. You've just birthed another child. So when you think like that, you think, oh, hang on, I'll take that one back again. Oh, you come back here. But it's like, that's why we have to be, that's why we don't need to think. So that's the idea. So the more soul conscious and be in soul presence, the less you'll start to think. We only have such little amount of our own thoughts anyway. Most of the time we're picking up everyone else's thoughts, we think they're ours, but they're not even ours. Because we might be living in where there's heaps of people and we're picking up all these thoughts. We think, oh, I'm having a lot of bad thoughts today, but they're not even your thoughts. We think they're ours, but they're not. We only have, they say, something like 5% of our own thoughts. So when you can start putting, everything outside, just stay in your little section, and then nothing's going to, worry you. You'll be there, and the only thought you'll be having is, oh, I'm feeling so good. It's so nice to be here. This ice cream tastes great. Whatever it is you like, isn't it? It's not a matter. You won't become perfect by what you eat or drink. It's got nothing to do with eating and drinking. It's about consciousness. But that can help a lot in the sense of maybe your health. If you run around eating negative sort of food, but what is negative food? It's only energy. All food is energy. So, and when you start thinking about consciousness and energy, creates matter. So consciousness, energy serves consciousness, which is your original perfect pure self. So energy is always serving consciousness, and it creates light, which is your soul, and it's serving through matter. So, and that's just energy. So you could just about live on gasoline, if you understand. So all this world is just energy. So when you eat something or breathe something, that's just energy, isn't it? So it doesn't matter what it is, but I know we teach about vegetarianism and things like that here, and but that's for a reason. So that helps us, our mind racing around. It just stops that. It just affects us a little bit. But when we should be on top of that, I mean, that's for people who don't have any control over themselves. That's what that was been like that. So even the old gurus from way back, they used to eat the same as what we eat now. But that's for the benefit that the mind, helping the mind to keep calm. That's all. You're still going to go to heaven. All right. Not that there's any heaven. So the thing is, like, heaven is right here, isn't it? Heaven is in your heart. So that's all it is. So if you're just sitting and you're enjoying yourself, sometimes you don't even need anyone else around to enjoy yourself because you're loving yourself. You're having that pure love for yourself and you're accepting yourself as you are. Doesn't matter what you've done in the past. Who cares? It's got nothing to do with that now. You're just loving yourself and respecting yourself as you are. Whatever you've done in the past will become your wisdom. Wisdom doesn't come from light. Wisdom comes from the dark, from your negative side. All our experiences we've had, and hundreds of births. So we've had all these experiences that's come and will become your wisdom. So imagine you don't get wisdom from light. Light is pure, it's just nothing in it, it's just energy, pure energy. So how are you going to learn anything from that? You don't learn anything. So that's why we had so many births and we've been learning and experiencing. arrows in the front and arrows in the back, whatever. We sometimes go to war and we're chopping their heads off and they're chopping our heads off, all these things, and people stealing, and they're not all bad, I suppose. You must have had one or two good days there, or births even. So, but I mean, that's what's been going on in the world, especially throughout the world. I mean, they've been conquering each other and going around and doing things in the name of God. A lot of times, in the name of God, we go around and change the world into Christians or Muslims or whatever, or Buddhisms or whatever, Buddhists. So, and that's in the name of God. We think, oh, I'm going to go to heaven because I've killed 500 people today, whatever. So, but that's nothing to do with it, actually. It's only just an experience. So you might have killed 500 people today, so you're going to come back and then 500 of you will be getting killed. But the whole thing is it's just a game of experiences. And once you say, okay, I've had enough, no more wars for me, then the soul says, okay, then we'll take a different birth. So once you've had enough, so people keep having sorrow and suffering and keep on coming back and doing the same old suffering and sorrow. But until you go, that's it, I've had enough, you have to say, let's stop it. Then the soul can say, okay, let's get on with something else now then. So you've realized you've finished your lessons on that. So everything you do is learning and experiencing. But now we don't need to learn anything because we're already perfect, actually. All our past births up till now, we won't make any more mistakes now because the soul's wisdomizing. All my wisdom will be there, you see. That's why now you don't have to dig any more ditches. You don't have to sweep any more roads. You can just enjoy yourself, and let the magic come to you, So if you got a business, let the business bloom without effort. You got to do everything, but don't sweat over it, don't make hard work of it, So that's what you're doing. You're just going to love it. You're loving it because it's you. Your business is you. That's actually you reflecting yourself outside. That's what business is. You're just reflecting how you want to. If you want to rip everyone off, then you're going to have a heart attack. So it's like, but if you're there giving help to everybody and giving some benefit, it's just like you're creating that beautiful radiance. That energy resonance of the soul. Your soul will resonate that beautiful energy, so people will be attracted towards you. So you'll bring business like that happen. So our business is just becoming happy and enjoying ourselves and loving ourselves. Ultimately, the whole thing is about love at the end. So you say, what's happening after this life? I become perfect, and then what happens? It only starts. That's when it's starting. It's just like you just getting out of kindergarten. We've reached the part now that we're going through over the bridge of flowers, and then we're going to go through to another dimension, free from all sorrow and suffering, So, and we'll be just having so much fun. Kind of play with the animals and dance with the fairies and do whatever you want. So that you're going to be free just to do what you want, and that's to enjoy yourself, be so creative and do magic, and laugh and just enjoy yourself. Ultimately, that's what we want, isn't it? I don't. Well, I don't. I do. That's what I want. So everyone's going to be whatever they want. Some people are not really. Some people just love war so much, They just can't live without war. So they will go to that area. So what's going to happen when consciousness is rising? Those who have this want to have peace and love in their life and want to have, some beautiful time, they will be on that dimension. Those who want wars and everything will stay on this dimension, So they will have wars and drugs and all those things. All those things will be here, That's for them. So they will stay. So that's pretty cool. You can choose, it'll just happen, But it's about consciousness, is about energy. So it'll just happen. You wake up one day and you think, oh, sort of different today. And you'll find there's hardly anyone living here. So because the whole world, half the population is going to be fighting, having their war world, but you'll be in this other world, which is enjoying themselves. So some people, that's why the world is not just what you think. You're a multi-dimensional being in a multi-dimensional universe. So there's so many different dimensions. You're playing at the same time. You have like so many different births going on at the same time. you've seen cameras. You've seen those cameras they have them on YouTube sometimes. Where cameras pick up other cars coming through. They'll just drive through, and they just where'd that car come from? It's come from another dimension. You see, it's just picked up in the lights that you would just see it. That way, the road's going that way. One time they had an airplane landing. They said, "Oh, it's going to crash," but it wasn't. That's the airport in another dimension. So they just happen to see that airplane. So whatever's going on here is going on in another dimension, in a parallel dimension. That's what happens. So you've got another body exactly the same in another dimension. You see, it's pretty cool. Some people think, "Oh, I didn't. I should have died in that car accident," but maybe you did. But you just moved into your other dimensional being. So under being. So, but anyway, that's another story. It'll do people's heads in. But there's so much in this earth, in this world. We're just like babies in a cage, when we think we're following some strict dogma and all these dogmas and strict rules and you're trapped in that. That's to do with the mind. It's trapping us in our mind. But if you want to leave, you can, So, but some people love it. Some people wouldn't want freedom, because they're dependent on everyone telling them what to do and how to do it. And some people want freedom. So some people don't like other people telling them what to do. So because they're masters, So but you want to run your own life, But that's how it is. But that's life, I mean, we've been because we were like that most of the time, like old master souls have been around. We've probably been chucked in jail and executed and done all sorts of things for being against the Christian religion or against some religion or whatever it is, against the government. So we've probably been strung up and chopped up and whatever, many different births, but that's just part of the game, So the soul only has those experiences and that's what it remembers as before, So until you're fully in order of yourself, then nothing will happen to you. So they won't even notice you. If you're coming a master, you'll be living in the world, but no one will see you, because you'll be doing what you want to do. So I was thinking what we can do tonight. Did you want to ask any questions? So probably bamboozled you by now. So that's okay. So I was thinking we could just sit for a little bit in soul presence, So you can close your eyes if you want. We can just sit here and just visualize your body is sitting here and just observe that I'm just looking at this body and it's the soul that's observing. And when you're observing the soul, it's just, you don't have to do anything. We're not here to change anything. We're not here to create anything. We're not here to heal anything. We're only here just to observe. So, and these are things you can do anytime. So just in your little section, if you want, on your front porch, just make that your special little place you can sit and sit on your favorite chair, and that just be present. Just observe the body sitting there, and that's all you got to do. Just observe it. You don't have to do anything. You're just seeing that is my body sitting there, but I'm the soul observing the human. Now, I, the soul, can be invited in. So we did that the last few Sundays. We just invite the soul to sit inside this body. So it's just there sitting, looking through the eyes, not doing anything, not changing anything, just experiencing maybe the warmth or the cold, or it's with a human, but the human is just experiencing. I, the soul, am just sitting now that I've been invited into the human. So you can just experience looking through the eyes. Just sit. You'll notice there's no thoughts when you're sitting. just relax, take a breath. Don't forget to breathe, because breathing is very important. Helps to stabilize our mind. And sometimes there could be an emotion come, because a long time now the soul has been waiting to be invited into the human. It's already been there, but we've had a door between the soul and the human. So the door is opened, and now the human and the soul can become one. So that's where the light body comes from. I've invited my soul to sit with my human, and that's called soul consciousness. And we need to have a human to have soul consciousness. You can't do without a human. But the human is going to be so beautiful and cooperative. We're going to really love the human, because it's not we're going to have attachment to it because we know the human's going to die, but through the human, we can really enjoy yourself. If you've got a car, you really keep it nice and clean and tidy, and keep it well oiled and whatever it needs, the car needs. And that's the same for the human. You look after the human, you dress it well, and that's what's going to happen. Now the soul is inside. I've invited my soul in, and now we're together. Just feel how happy that the soul will feel, so much happy. You'll feel that joy and happiness in your heart. Soul will be so happy that you have allowed it to be sitting with you. And you don't have to do anything. You just have to allow your soul to be there. So just take a nice deep breath in. And just be free to breathe. You don't have to strain your breath. Everything should be easy now. Don't do anything that you have to work hard for. Let everything come to you, the wisdom, your joy, happiness. Let the soul show you some magic. And the soul knows everything, what you need, so don't have to ask the soul every 5 minutes for something. It knows exactly what you need. Okay, just take a nice deep breath in and allow yourself and your soul. Now, when you're driving the car, you can think, oh, the human's driving it, and my light body, my soul is now helping to drive the car. We're together. We never have to do anything by itself anymore. So just take a nice deep breath and allow yourself to come back into consciousness, back into the body, back to this world. And always remember, we're never alone. So tonight, offering no fixing, no perfect words, only presence, only love, only the quiet of knowing I am not alone. You're never ever alone again. So once the human and the soul are there. So we're in the light of our soul now. Okay, Om Shanti. Om Shanti, everybody. Cool.